YouTube star and all-round bloody legend Ozzy Man is best known for his comedic recaps of, well, just about anything.
Oh, an inverted spinning echidna. Yes, Ray Gun.
He's also interviewed some of the biggest stars in the world. Now Ozzy Man can add a PM to his resume, and just to be clear, Albo came to him.
Hey legends, this opportunity to have a pub chat interview with the Prime Minister came up because I commented on his Instagram account. I didn't think he'd show up, but he did. Cheers, Prime Minister, for coming to the pub.
30 seconds in and he discovered Albanese is on the wagon.
How long have you tried to stick to the 0% beer rule?
Well, it's now, almost through 3 months.
3 months, that's pretty good.
The comedian made it clear that the interview with Albo wasn't a paid endorsement, which is probably a good idea after the fallout from Abbie Chatfield's sit-down with the PM.
Abbie Chatfield posts to be probed by Australian Electoral Commission.
Chatfield was dobbed in by the Liberal Party, no agenda there, I'm sure, and was promptly investigated by the AEC for potentially breaching election advertising guidelines.
And I'm all for the AEC making sure that everything goes by regulation so that we have safe and fair elections.
The AEC cleared her of any wrongdoing, but now it seems as though Abbie can't decide if this was part of the process and part and parcel of covering politics or a witch hunt.
But I was made an example of, and that is terrifying.
Abbie reckons this is all a conspiracy to stop influencers talking to politicians, which probably isn't the case, but there's no doubt that some influencers do it better than others.
Why is it more straightforward to have conviction with the Ukraine-Russia conflict than the Israel-Palestine conflict?
It's not.
But the reality is, the numbers show that Ozzy Man's audience are probably more interested in his comedic commentaries than they are politics.
How will she finish it? Hidden magpie! Yes!
So all of this reveals one thing. It's clear that politicians need influencers, not the other way around.
All right, good shit. Thank you, Albo.
Thanks, mate.
1 week of the campaign is done and dusted, and the leaders have been crisscrossing the country. Ellen, you've spent the week with the opposition leader, Peter Dutton. How has he been on the campaign trail this week?
Look, I think he maybe was off to a slower start than he maybe could have been. It's kind of weird. It was kind of a chaotic week, but there wasn't really much policy to talk about. There were obviously announcements dispersed throughout the week, but in terms of substantial things, we're still waiting for the finer details about his gas policy. He did give us some analysis about that today, in a key speech, but we're still waiting for figures about what it will mean for the average household. So, yeah, I think a slower start than he would have liked, maybe a bit shakier than he would have liked. And I mean, obviously we had the Donald Trump tariff decision, which kind of cast a long shadow over the entire week. It was, was being discussed before Liberation Day, and it's been the topic of discussion the last 2 days as well.
Donald Trump's Liberation Day wiped $2.5 trillion off Wall Street and has world leaders scrambling. Paul Myler is a diplomat with 30 years' experience. He was Australia's ambassador to Russia and Deputy Chief of Mission at the Australian Embassy in Washington, D.C. Paul, is what we've seen from Donald Trump have any precedent in your experience?
Well, it's certainly more impressive than anything that he did in Trump 1.0 in terms of destroying value in the global economy. It's quite stunning.
And so can you give us an idea of what the Australian government would be doing right now behind the scenes in the wake of these tariffs?
Oh, look, and not right now. I mean, for some time. I mean, the president's always been quite clear that he believes in tariffs. He's a 79-year-old man whose view of the global economy is sort of trapped in the 1980s, and he thinks this is the way to go. And he's got a lot of support for that from his voter base. So we always knew that tariffs were coming. I think the key the Australian government was focused on was, emphasising, one, that we've had a free trade agreement for 20 years this year. This is the 20th anniversary of the agreement. I was the senior legal counsel on that negotiating team. It was a great agreement and has done both countries really proud. got a huge amount of investment in the US. We have a trade surplus. Or they have a trade surplus with us. It's a good relationship. It's a good economic relationship, and so the focus by the government will have been in ensuring that we get the best or the least egregious treatment possible. And certainly, at the end of the day, they've been successful in that. Only attracting the 10% tariff, which is the floor, is a great outcome for Australia in what is, a devastating, self-harming blow to the US economy and the global economy.